Welcome to another weekly video. It's fantastic to be back, and today's a little different. Today I'm going to show you the ultimate glute warm-up. So warming up those glutes is so important for many functional training movements and workouts. And this little system that I've developed, that I've created, just takes a couple of minutes, but really gets those glutes firing for all those all-important movements. So let's take a look at the ultimate glute warm-up. We're first going to start with hip raises. So these are a pretty simple exercise, but often done incorrectly. So I'm just going to give you a few little cues to get the most out of these hip raises. So we're first going to start in our bilateral hip raise. What I want to do is I want to lay down. I want to externally rotate the hips, okay, as we move through. I want to bring my hands into the air so I'm not actively pushing down, and I want to just push through my heels. So I'm going to come up to full terminal hip extension. I want to hold and squeeze at this point. Then I'm going to come down. I'm not going to touch the ground. I'm not going to let my glutes rest before I drive up once again. All right, so here's the movement. And we might just do 10 bilateral hip raises as we move through. Once we've done our bilateral, if you've got the strength, if you've got the stability, then we can move on to our unilateral. Now with the unilateral, what can be helpful here is holding a ball in the hip just to keep it nice and square. Okay, so I'd hold a ball in this hip and then I'd come through and it would be very similar movement, but now I've got to hold these hips square as we're just doing one side at a time. And again, I might do 10 each side. So if I do 10 bilateral hip raises, 10 unilateral hip raises, then I'm really giving those glutes a good kick. Our next movement in the ultimate glute warm-up is our banded squat. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna need a mini band for this one. Mini bands are awesome. This one's quite a strong one. I'm going to bring that up just underneath my knees, okay? Now I'm often asked, is it better to have it underneath the knees or above the knees? Really, it's a personal choice. I haven't seen a benefit to either way, all right, an extra benefit. What we want to do is my cue here is break the band, all right, as we move through. So I'm going to descend into a squat. I'm going to break the band as I descend into that squat, all right, break the band. What that's doing is it's externally rotating my hips as I move through. I want to make sure that I'm not rolling the feet as I move through this, and I'm resisting the valgus collapse. All right, so resisting the valgus collapse, holding, really getting all my feet into the ground itself, and I'm breaking the band as I descend through that squat. So our banded squats, a magnificent exercise for warming up those glutes. Our last movement in our ultimate glute warm-up is the X-band walk, and I like to do this barefoot just to make sure that I'm not rolling the feet either way. All right, what we want to do is get this band underneath the arch. I then want to create the X, hence why it's an X band walk. I want to drop into about a quarter squat on this as I move through. Now what's really important here is I'm just going to take little steps as I'm moving through. Little steps from one side to the other. But as I take these little steps, I need to make sure that I'm not rolling my feet and I'm not having those knees drop towards the midline. So we don't want to see this, we don't want to see this, but rather what we want to see is little steps, keeping those feet nice and square, focusing on the quality of the movement. I tell you what, my glutes are on fire already. So there we have the ultimate glute warm-up. 3 really good exercises just to prep your body and have you absolutely firing for those functional training movements and exercises. Over to you guys.